Hello there, welcome to Let's Analyze with IRAT. In this video, we'll be discussing the big 6 elements, which are the foundation statements to extracting values from a database. SQL queries are built on 6 key elements that allows you to retrieve and analyze data from a database. The big 6 elements consist of the select clause, the from clause, where clause, group by clause, having clause, and order by clause. Before we start, I want us to import our tables. I've already written the code in a script out. The script is in the description below, so you can download it and run it. Let's go straight to MySQL Workbench and start our analysis. I have already discussed how we can import a table into database. So all we need to do now is to create a database and then run a script. Create new database. I would call this analysis project and leave the rest as default. So I'll click on apply. Red. Now we have analysis project in our schemas pane. We can close this out. Let's import our SQL script. So I'll open a SQL script here, and this is the script I want to import. This is the entire script. I've written the code to create a table and to import values into the table. All I need to do is to put my cursor on the first line and click on the execute portion. So if I click on this, it will execute all the codes in this script. Okay, I got an error because I didn't select any database as default. So I need to select the new analysis project as the default. Right, so now everything I'm importing will be going straight into the analysis project schema. So I'll run this. You can see here that our code is running. We haven't gotten any error so far. This might take a while depending on the system performance, on your system performance. I think this is done importing. Let's refresh the schema and we can now see our tables. Right. You can see here that we already have our tables. The reason I'm showing this process is to make sure that we all have the same database so that everyone can follow along. I can go back to this query, this SQL script. This was where we were working on the last time, and we can start discussing our clauses. Let's go straight to the PowerPoint. The select statement. Select statement is the starting point of a SQL query. It identifies the columns you want to include in your result. You can select the specific column by including the name or using the asterisk or asterisk to select all the columns in the table. We also have the distinct keyword that is used to return only one unique value. The select statement works with the from statement. The from statement specifies the data source. So when you use the select statement, you must specify the table you want to select from. So the from clause specifies which table or tables your query would pull data from. It follows the select statement and is essential to tell SQL where to find the data you are requesting. The basic syntax is just to use the from clause and specify the table name. When working with multiple tables, you can use the join operation within the from clause or use the subqueries within the from clause. In other videos, we'll be discussing the subqueries and the join clause, but for now, let's focus on the select and from statement. Back to SQL Workbench. We already have our tables. All we need to do is select values or extract values from our table. Using the other details table, let's select. We want to select all the columns, so we use the asterisk. Select all from the other details table. And we use our semicolon. Expand this and increase this for easy readability. Good. Now we can see the values we extracted in our result grid. We can see every information about the others table. From the left pane, you can see under the information section, we can see the table structure, which aligns with the table in the result grid. This is the way you can extract all the values from a table. If we want to extract, let's say we want to extract the orders ID, the product ID, and the unit price, but we don't want to see other values. In this case, instead of using the asterisk, let me just put this down for readability. I'm using a comma because we are calling multiple tables, or multiple columns rather, and the unit price. You'd see we have just the selected columns. This is a simple select statement. Let's go back to the PowerPoint to discuss the where clause. The where clause filters results to include only data that meets specific conditions. It allows you to narrow down your query results based on logical criteria. Common operations include the equal sign, greater than, less than, in, between, and like keywords. We can combine multiple conditions using the and or the or keyword. Let's go straight to SQL Workbench to discuss this further. Let's select all from our orders table so we can see all the values. Don't forget that SQL is not case sensitive. The clauses I'm writing in uppercase can be written in lowercase. I'm writing it in uppercase because it increases readability. I spelled this wrongly. It's other details. Right. Looking at this results grid, you can see that we have some orders that include discounts, while some others don't have discounts. So let's say we want to extract orders that got discounts. In this case, let me drop this down for us to see better. In this case, I want to see all the values, right? All the columns. But I want to filter to just columns that got, to just orders that got discounts. So I would use the where clause and put this in uppercase, where the discount column is where we want to filter, where the discount is equal to, in this case we can't use equal to because we are not using it, we are not focusing on a particular discount. We want any value that is above 0. So we use greater than 0. This way it will filter the table to just orders that got discounts. Now let me run this. With this value, if you scroll down, you'd see that we don't have any order that has discount less than 0. And also, if we look through the action output, you'd see that previously, when we extracted every value from the order details, we can see that we had 1000 rows. But after filtering down to just values that had discounts, we had an output of just 838 rows. Note that SQL limit the output in the result grid to just 1000 rows. If you want more above 1000 rows, just click on this drop down, but I'd advise you keep it on a limit to increase the efficiency and the speed. I just use the greater than logical conditions to discuss the where clause. Looking at this table, let's extract everything from the other table. I on this. Don't forget to put your semicolon. Right. So from this table, we can see that we have a unit price, which is the price the good was sold. Let's say we want to get just the price between $25 to $50. In this case, we use the between keyword. Within the where clause, where unit price is the column we are focusing on. Unit price is between 25 and 50. Keep your eye on the result grid. Whenever I run the statement, you'd notice that rows like this, rows that contain unit price less than 25, you'd notice that it will be eliminated from this result. Let me run this. And this is it. You'd see that we don't have those values or those unit price less than or greater than 50. Less than 25 and greater than 50. We can also use the where clause with a character data type. Using the employees table, let me select all from employee. Employees. Around this. Right, this is our employee table. We can now use the where clause with it. Let's say we want to extract information about employees with a doctor title. In this case, we would select all from, let me put this in the next line. Select all from employees where, using the where clause, where title of courtesy is equal to, because it is string data type, it's equal to doctor. We can see from the results grid that we have just one employee with the doctor title of courtesy. This is because the data set or the table is very little, so we can easily filter ourselves. But when we use the statement, when we run this statement, you'd see that our output is just containing one row, because we have just one employee with the doctor's title. Let me run this again so we can see our entire table. Right. Let's understand how we use the and or logical statement. When we use the and clause, all the conditions in our where statement must be true. If we set two conditions, those two conditions must be true. But in the case of or clause or or keyword, at least one of the condition must be true. Let's take, for instance, we want to extract the employees who live in London and also have the Mr. title of courtesy. In this case, we've already specified our select statement. All we need to do is include our where clause. where our first condition is that the employee must live in London. Our second condition is that the title of courtesy must be equal to Mr. Because this is our first condition, this is our second condition. These two conditions must be true. In that case, we need to use the AND keyword. When I run this statement, you see that we have just employees that meet this condition. In the case of the OR logical condition, if we change this to OR, you'd see that if at least one of these conditions is met, the employee's information would also be provided. Let me run this. You'd see that we have just 3 rows. When I run this, you'd see that we now have 4 rows. Annie's information has been included because Annie lives in London, but Annie is not a male. She uses the Miss title of courtesy, but her information was also provided because she lives in London. Her information met one of these conditions. That's the difference between the AND and the OR clause. In the case of AND, the 2 conditions must be met. In the case of OR, at least 1 condition must be met. Let's use the where clause with the date data type. Let's select all from employees. I'll just copy this instead of writing again. Now run this to see all the informations. In this case, let's extract the information of employees that were hired after the year 1993. We've already written our select statements. Let's use our where clause. Hire date is the column we want to filter, where hire date is above 1993. We can't just write 1993. We have to write we have to include the month and the day. In this case, since we are starting from 1993, we'd use 1st of January. Yes, 0101. When I run this, you'd see that our value has been filtered down to just employees that were hired after the year 1993. I would also discuss how we use the like clause with the where statement. Let me select all from employees. I'll copy this again. Now run this to see all the information in the employee table. Let's extract information about employees that have the first name starting with the letter M. In this case, we are not specifying a particular, or we are not filtering to a particular name. As long as the employee's name starts with the letter M, no matter what follows, if it's Michelle, if it's Michael, if it's Margaret, it doesn't matter. As long as the employee's name starts with the letter M, the employee's information should be provided. In this case, we'll use the like clause. So let's say where first name is the column we are trying to filter, where first name is like. In this case, we would use a wildcard, that's the percentage symbol. You'd see that I'm starting with the letter M and I'm including the wildcard. This tells SQL Workbench to extract as long as the letter starts with the letter M. Anything that comes after doesn't matter. The filter name has been filtered down to just employees with the first name starting with letter M. Let me copy this and run again so that we can see all the informations in the employees table. Let's say we want to extract all the values about employees whose first name ends with the letter T. In this case, we would also use the where and the like clause, where first name is like. In this case, we want anything before the letter T. As long as it ends with the letter T, the value should be included. So in this case, our wildcard will be before the letter T because we want any value before, as long as it ends with the letter T. Any value before the letter T. When I run this, you'd see that our output contains just first name that ends with the letter T. We have Janet, Robert, and Margaret. What if we want to extract values that first name that has the letter N in between other values? In this case, we would use the where clause also, where and like clause, where first name is like. We want anything before and anything after, as long as it has the letter N in between. After running this, we can now see that the first name has been filtered down to values that has the letter N. Whether the letter N is in the position, second position, last position, third position, as long as the letter N is in the first name. That's how to use the where clause with the like clause. In the next video, I'll be discussing the aggregate function and the group by clause. If you have any issues understanding what I've discussed so far, please make sure to comment below. I would discuss it further in the next video. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe, and also share to people that need it. Bye for now.